Welcome back, everyone. So I'd bring a little quick update on what we got going on. So we're starting on the body and getting the bracing ready, and we are getting closer. Got the nose on the table, got some plates to put on. Those basically go kind of underneath there. I was gonna have that done, but my old one uses these bolts and recess washers, or countersunk bolts, and a couple of them were ground down, so I had to cut them off. So I got some new bolts and stuff coming, so I didn't make much progress there. I know Riley and his group were down and got their motor pretty much ready to be put in, got the clutch on. Kind of felt nice. They actually had to use one of my videos to kind of go back and see how to put the clutch on. So yeah, so we got a little bit of that going on, and I just finished up the first brace here, and I had a whoopsie with cutting this panel, and unfortunately the strap's a little bit too long, and for fun I just broke. Oops. So we had a little whoopsie there. So just thought I'd let you guys show too. On one of my previous videos I talked about how close the fan gets to the radiator, and here is just a example of how close it is. And if you measure it right there, it's within like a half an inch, and probably even closer at the very bottom. So that is stupid jack. That is kind of the thing you want to do when you run a 4-blade fan. You want to make sure it's as close as possible. So we do that to help keep the car cool. So I think that's what I got kind of done tonight. I kind of been in and out of the garage here a little bit at a time, so not really much to really document much, but we'll let my camera assistant walk around the car and she can show you a couple things. Sometimes I get to make the long walk to help a neighbor out. I don't fall my butt in the mud. Oh boy. And ice. It was a beautiful day today. We had it was like 50-degree weather here. Not bad for February. This day 28th, so not bad. To make the long walk over here, help on a full fender car, but they get to run a 9-inch Ford rear end floater, so he doesn't have any knowledge on how it goes together. So we're coming over to help him out. Well, just got done over at the neighbor's, helping him set up his rear end, teaching him how the Grand National bearings and hubs work on a Ford 9-inch, so which is what we run on our cars. So that was pretty easy to try and explain, and they will probably forget before we he gets time to actually install it. He's just trying to mock it up and learn about it. So oh, excuse me. So tonight we're going to be working on the nose again, my favoriteest part of the race car. So I think I told you guys I got these fancy nose supports. They go in the corners. We're gonna be installing those tonight. I did get last night, did get some of the body bracing put in. I'm not quite sure I like how this panel's formed yet. We might adjust it. I got the bracing on the back and got the front door kind of locked in. So just the right rear is the only one I got left to really tie down, and I got some more more of these rods coming. I really kind of liked using these last year. They're lightweight. This one's a little bent, but basically they're composite rod, like a 1/2 inch composite rod, and then they just use what kind of looks like an aluminum version of a battery cable. They're not like a lead that I know of anyway. At least I've been trying not to lick my fingers after using them. But we use that. You put just one that's got a hole in it, and then the other side's got a slot in it, and it actually works out really nice. And I don't know if I can show you very well, but kind of see how they're mounted there. Like I said, this one might be a little short. I'm not sure, but you can mount them at different angles. And then I run these Hammond Motorsports body bracings, and they have a 45, a flat, and a 90, obviously. So there's 3 different orientations you can mount this. I actually had these mounted with this side out and this kind of flipped end for end. So I had run 2 on each side, but this year I kind of decided I just wanted to run 1 on the left rear. They're a little bit heavier than just your standard angle iron, so I wanted to try and lighten this up a little bit this year. So 1 on the left rear, and I will do 2 on the right rear. So kind of the theory behind that is, you know, when you get into the corner and a guy gets underneath you, and some of the tight bull rings we race in where it's kind of fight to the bottom, if someone kind of gets you on the left rear quarter panel, it can knock you up the hill, spin you out. I'm hoping this will allow it to give a little bit more instead of having 2 where it's a little more rigid. That's my kind of theory. And the air doesn't quite hit it on the left side as much. It still does a little bit, but, and then on the right side, just using 2 to make it stiff. So that way the wind or the air pushing on the side helps kind of hold the car too, doesn't flex in. And then hopefully if I hit the wall, or hopefully I don't hit the wall, it'll cause it to be a little bit more rigid and hopefully not cause as much damage. But I have nicked the wall a few times last year, and actually most of the times that I hit the wall, it was my own fault. I pretty much drove right up into it, just making kind of a wider corner, coming up off the corner. Just got a little too wide, knocked the spoiler brace off, scraped the spoiler. I think I already put it away. We did get a new spoiler this year. I think I maybe showed this earlier, but trying something a little different. We don't have quite as big a bend on the top as we run in the past. Usually we run a 45. This one I think is 18 degrees, 18.56 or something like that. The press brake operator that does all my stuff said that he had a number that would give me the most aerodynamic horsepower gain. So I thank Jared for that. He gave me the inspiration to try something a little different, and it gets it up in the air a little bit more. So we'll probably put you on time lapse when I do my nose. I'd say it was stacking dimes, but not too shabby for an engineer. This one is a little bit worse off, but it'll hold. Basically, we just got this bumper here. Well, it's not a bumper, but it's a loose fitting, like Nerf bar, holds the nose out. So I think I'm gonna make one side just a little bit longer for the nose being just a little bit offset, but we'll let that cool down and we'll get her mounted, and that will pretty much finish off the nose. I haven't quite figured out if I want to try and mount anything to the inside of this yet, to those tabs down there off those brackets. Not sure if I'll have room to mount anything or not, so we will see how that all fares out. But otherwise, this basically just helps add support. So I think the biggest problem that I've had with these is like coming on and off the track, they'll catch the middle of these and they'll bow down. The one last year I hooked it early and it kind of bent down, and once you kind of bend that plastic, unless you really put heat to it, they kind of stay wherever they've been to. So with those bracings on the corners, they're a little bit different this year. So the ones I ran last year, I think only went to about here. These come out a little further, so it should hopefully rigid that up in the middle. So hopefully that will get that done, and we'll drill some holes and put some bolts in it, and should be ready to rock and roll. I would like to note that Adam is typically my welder. He does a lot of welding for us at work and is an awesome welder, along with other things, other talents, but he is typically my go-to welder for anything crucial. This is kind of minor stuff, so I don't mind doing it, and it gives me an opportunity to kind of practice my skills with welding. So I just wanted to make that note that if this were something more of like a cage bar or suspension component, something that may be bad if it comes loose, I typically have Adam weld it. He knows a lot about welding, he's been doing it for lots of years, so I just wanted to make that note. And he's the guy that kind of talked me into converting my little welder. It's a 110 welder, but he talked me into converting it over to gas. I got a small cylinder on there, but really world's difference in how this thing is welded. Before I just had flux core, so he talked me into that, and extremely happy with how it's performed since that. So that's helped me personally, and I think also it helps him make an even better quality weld, instead of worrying about the flux core, which works, but it seems more finicky. I know I struggled with having to preheat everything just to make sure it would actually weld decent. So just thought I would say that, and yeah. Before my camera dies for the night, I just wanted to show you finished product, welded, bolted in. The only thing, the tubes, the receiver tubes that I welded on were a little bit big, and we did have a tube that we were going to use that was lighter wall, and it actually fit inside of the thicker wall tubing. So we, I should say, I decided to do that. It tightened it up quite a bit. Otherwise, it was pretty floppy loose. So we did that, and it's just something that I don't want to make sure this or the mounts to come loose at any time. I've heard horror stories of bumpers and other stuff falling under and either hitting the radiator, hitting the oil pan. You know, the oil pan's under there, easy target for anything on the track. So, or you don't want it to hit anyone else's, a competitor's radiator or oil pan or anything like that. So, or even worse, going through the cockpit. So we want to make sure that was good on there, good and sturdy, and we welded it in nice and hot. So that'll be probably the end of this video. Again, I appreciate everyone that likes, subscribes, comments on any of my videos. So hopefully when we get towards race season, which is probably a little over a month away for us anyway, we will hopefully be able to put out videos a little quicker, and hopefully it doesn't interfere with trying to get stuff done. I know with only having me and Adam on the crew, it gets a little hectic at times. Sometimes we have quick turnarounds, and Adam's gonna be helping Riley this year a little bit, so, and I'll be kind of helping Riley too. It's his first year. So with that, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.